Hey guys, so when it comes to PvP BiS lists, it feels a bit of a misnomer to call things BiS, as it really depends on what you're looking for, what your playstyle is, who your arena partners are, and what your current gear is at the moment. That being said, there's two major factors that I think go into building your set and swapping out items. So since I feel like there's probably a lot of people like myself right now who have a decent phase 2 set, are going into phase 3 and they're looking at what are going to be some of the items that they may want to look out for that'll fit into their PvP set. And so with that, there's sort of two big things to look out for when gearing a feral druid for PvP. The first is, how do they get their 4 set? So we're always going to want the 4 set, which means you have to wear at least 4 of the main PvP pieces, and you could drop 1 PvP piece for a PvE piece. You don't have to. You can wear all 5 PvP pieces, but if you wanted to, you could drop 1 of them. The second thing that we're always looking out for is how to get to our hit cap. So I go over the hit cap in the last one, but it's 164 hit rating will put you at the hit cap. You want exactly that amount, and you don't want to go over. So that being said, I'm going to go over sort of what I had from phase 2, and then we can look at what I'm looking at in each slot for phase 3. Okay, so the next thing you want to think about as you're upgrading your gear this phase is where exactly you want to get your 4 set PvP bonus from. So first thing I think that's easy always 100% of the time is you get the gloves. You want the 15 energy cost maim reduction. They're super low rating requirement. These should always be gotten. I think no matter what, everyone's going to wear the gloves. The next thing I would say is, if you can get the 2K rating, the Relentless Helm and the Relentless Shoulders are going to be worn. There's not great replacements. I'll go over their replacements here in a second. But if you can get to 2K rating and buy both of these, I would just wear both of them. I think the sort of biggest preference swap here is going to be whether you have these YOG 25 man hard mode pants, the leggings of Cunning Deception. If you have them, I personally plan on wearing these this phase. They're just itemized so well, and with that extra socket, it gives you a lot of stats, which is just awesome. If you don't have them, these Relentless Gladiator pants are actually also extremely good. So I would just wear the Relentless pants if you don't have the YOG pants. That being said, if you are wearing the pants, then you could swap out another piece. Personally, if I don't like a lot of these other swaps, I would probably just wear the 5 set, but I like a little more resilience. If you find that your damage is lacking, and let's say I play with the priest and oftentimes I'm not the focus or the kill target, which means dropping defensive stats is worthwhile, because if they're not hitting me, those defensive stats are wasted, and you're looking for an offensive swap, then I would look at the chest, because there's 2 options here of chests that have that extra socket, and that extra socket is just going to add a decent amount of stats, right? The first one is going to be this heroic 25-man Jiraxis chest. The problem with this chest is that it has a ton of haste, which is not ideal for a cat. It makes us attack a little quicker, but you're already at GCD cap in cat form, so the haste is it's not quite as good for us as it is for other classes. The next one, and the one that I would probably go if I was looking for a offensive swap in the chest area, is this. It's from 10-man Twin Valks, and it's got 2 red sockets and an agility bonus. So it's got quite a bit of agility here. It's itemized super well: crit, armor pen, attack power. It's got low stam, so like I said, this is a real sort of aggressive swap. And then there's also a leatherworking one that's similar, but it has less agi, a little bit more stam, and then it's got hit rating on it. It also has a decent amount more attack power. but it's the same item level as this 10-man heroic Twin Valk's chest, but just kind of itemized a little different, and it's got a ton of hit rating. So if you're dropping some hit in places, this sort of crafted chest piece could give you that hit. None of the PvP pieces, the 5 PvP pieces, will have hit on it. So depending on where you're getting your hit from, this may be a worthwhile swap. Now, that being said, let's say you couldn't afford the Relentless shoulders, or you're waiting to get the rating for them. There's these 10-man shoulders off of hard mode Anubarak. They're pretty decent because they have that extra socket, as I was talking about. They have a little bit of haste on them, which is not quite as good, but this is another area where if you're looking to drop one of the 5 pieces and you don't care about losing the resilience, then this could be a little bit of an offensive swap. The helm piece, there's really only one. It's from Badges, and it's got 82 hit rating on it. I don't particularly like this swap, but as I said with the chest, if you're looking for the hit rating, if you drop maybe like the neck and the bracers or wherever you're getting your hit from, if you drop enough of that hit to where you need it, you could utilize all 82 of the hit rating on these items, whether that be the chest or the helm, then I would say that these are worth it. Besides that, I don't think there's really any other pieces in the like head, shoulders, chest, hands, and pants that are even worthwhile looking at. I would wear, if I wanted the resilience but I didn't have the rating for Relentless, I would just wear Furious and the Furious Dragonhide helm. I wouldn't really go about picking up some of those PvE pieces because these are just itemized better for what I value, which is a little bit more defensive. Okay, now that we've talked about the main set pieces, we can go over each of the offset pieces. Before we do, though, there's sort of 2 things I want to mention here. The first thing is when it comes to the accessory slots and the back piece, so we're talking rings, neck, and the back, I do not think that these Relentless Gladiator pieces are worth it. The reasoning is pretty simple, and it's just because they have no agility. Now that we're at item level 245, 251, 258, stat itemization is extremely important, and to have 0 agility on a piece just feels super bad for a Feral Druid. The other thing I want to mention is when it comes to me talking about attainable gear, I'm going to be talking a lot about Ulduar 10-man hard mode gear, and the reasoning for that is that now that gear is available through a vendor in Dalaran using a currency called Sidereal Essence. If you don't know about Sidereal Essence, the basics of it are that the last boss in every heroic ++ dungeon will drop 1 Sidereal Essence for you. You can then go and buy these pieces from a vendor in Dalaran. This is important because even if you look at these other pieces, let's say the bosses are easy to kill, you still have to depend on sort of the RNG of the item not only dropping, but then the item being looted to you. So what I like about the 10-man hard mode pieces is that you can brute force it. They will take time. The Sidereal Essence is not a quick thing to gain, but if you put in the time, you will eventually get it. Unlike you could run 25-man heroic TOGC and never see some of these items drop. So I just want to mention that I will be talking about those 10-man hard mode items from Ulduar as attainable pieces. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some of the gear. The first thing I want to note here is that this Freya, 10-man Freya hard mode necklace is still very good this phase, especially if you can utilize the hit rating. Besides this necklace, I would be looking at either the 25-man heroic Jaraxxus neck or the 10-man Northern Beasts heroic neck. As far as which one out of these 2, I think the 10-man heroic Northern Beasts necklace is actually the best neck for Feral Druids in PvP this phase. So if you can get access to this, I would definitely wear it, but I also think the 25-man heroic Jaraxxus neck is good as well. Neither of these bosses are difficult to kill. It's just a matter of being lucky enough to see it drop and to get the item looted to you. Now, that being said, the next thing we can look at is the cloak. So cloaks this phase are a little weird because there is one cloak that is way better than every other cloak. It comes from the tribute chest. If you do 25-man heroic TOGC with 0 wipes, a cloak will drop in the tribute chest, and if you're lucky enough for that cloak to be the DPS cloak, the physical DPS cloak, and for it to be looted to you, well then you're freaking lucky and you should wear this cloak. There's nothing even close. The likelihood of that seems very low. I do not plan on getting this cloak this phase or wearing it in PvP. Personally, I think I'm just going to wear the same cloak that you could have been wearing last phase, and that's from 10-man hard mode General Vezax, which means that it's also available for Sidereal Essence. The reasoning for this is there's also a 10-man TOGC tribute chest cloak that is available, which could be easier to get since 10-man is a lot easier. But the problem is it's basically the same as Drape of the Faceless General. When you factor in that Drape has an extra red socket or an extra yellow socket and a 6 agility socket bonus, Drape of the Faceless General actually has more agility, and it just has a little bit less crit, a little bit less armor pen, and it actually has more attack power. So I feel like these two cloaks are extremely similar in their stat distribution. Just Drape of the Faceless General is way easier to get. So I would farm up the Sidereal for Drape of the Faceless General if you don't have it, and that's what I would basically wear the whole phase. The next thing we'll look at here are the bracers. So the bracers I'm wearing right now are also available for Sidereal Essence from 10-man hard mode XT. They're itemized super well, attack power, hit, and armor pen. The only thing that's kind of a downside about them is if you can't use the hit rating, then they're not nearly as good. Even with the hit rating, I think there's better hit rating swaps just because the Relentless Gladiator Arm Ramps of Triumph are actually really well statted and just super easy to get. I mean, it's just a little bit of honor, and you buy these bad boys and you're good to go. So personally, I feel like most druids should just wear the Relentless Gladiator Arm Wraps if they can, and move on. That being said, there is one other piece that's a great one-for-one swap with Fluxing Energy Coils because it also has hit rating and attack power and stuff like that, and that's going to be these bracers. The hard part about that is these drop from 25-man Heroic Anubarak, which is kind of the only hard boss in this phase. So if you get these to drop and you can wear them in PvP, then I would wear these. But if not, I would just wear the Relentless Gladiator Arm Wraps, which is what I'll probably be wearing. The next piece is going to be super easy. The belt, I don't think there's anything even close to competing. There's this other belt with an extra socket, but it's got haste on it. I just wear the Relentless belt. No matter what, everyone should just wear the Relentless belt. When it comes to the boots, it's a bit interesting. It depends on your hit. I think the Relentless boots are extremely good. If you can get hit elsewhere, then I would just wear the Relentless boots. If you need the hit and you get these boots from Heroic 25-man faction champs, then these boots are better than the Relentless boots, in my opinion. They have hit and armor pen and attack power. They have an extra socket. They're just really well statted if you need that 76 hit rating. If you don't need the hit rating or getting hit rating other places, then I would just recommend the Relentless boots. I think these are sort of the easy attainable ones, and then this is sort of if you got lucky and got the item, then you would wear these. When it comes to rings, it's a bit unique here. I would say that wearing the 10-man Band of Light or even the Brand's Ceiling Ring, these are sort of my attainable pieces because, again, you can get these with the Sidereal. If you have the 25-man Ulduar brand signet ring, I think that is going to be the BiS for that slot. And then I think the best way to replace Band of Lights is going to be with Planestalker Signet. Now, if you had Planestalker Signet and you needed more hit, you could then go get Band of Lights to wear with it. So there's two good hit rings here, either Band of Lights from 10-man Algolon, which again you can get from Sidereal Essence, and then there's the Planestalker Signet, which is from 10-man Heroic Jaraxxus, which is an extremely easy boss to kill, but as I pointed out before, it just depends on whether the item drops and you get it. As for trinkets, I think Runestone is still going to be great. This is my attainable piece, as I talked before. This one is available with Sidereal Essence. So that's what I would wear if you want something attainable. But what everyone is going to put in their BiS list is going to be Death's Verdict from 25-man. This is obviously God tier, getting 510 agility. It'll make you heal for more. It'll make you crit more. It'll give you more attack power in cat form. This trinket is just amazing. But considering that trinket is wanted by everyone in PvE, I just don't see many druids getting it, but maybe you got lucky and you got it. If you don't get this, I would just wear Runestone because Runestone's still awesome. In the idol position, we actually have something that's pretty easy, and that is available for emblems. It's called Idol of Mutilation. It's kind of like the idol we're wearing last phase, but now it pops off of our shreds as well, and it gives us more agility. So this is a straight upgrade. It's available for 25 emblems of Triumph. I'd just go buy it. There's nothing else to wear there. Also, wear your PvP trinket. The last piece that we're looking at here is going to be the weapon. All right, and for the weapons, there's not too many options. If you're using Dreambinder from last phase, which is what I had, then the Lupine Longstaff is the same thing, but better. They both Dreambinder and Lupine have haste on them, which is not quite ideal. The Archon Glaive is technically what I would call the BiS for Feral Druid in PvP this phase, at least the most damage. It has crit instead of haste. The only problem is that it drops off of the only kind of hard encounter this phase, which is 25-man Heroic Anubarak. Besides that, the Relentless Gladiator Staff is always great as a defensive swap, or if you're using something that's, I would probably wear the Relentless Gladiator's Great Staff over something like Dreambinder even. So unless you have one of these two staffs from 25-man Heroic TOGC, I'd probably wear the Resilience version. But there's not too many options, really just these three. I'd say Archon Glaive is the best out of them offensive-wise, and then obviously the Gladiator one is the best defensive-wise. All right, and just to kind of put that all together here, I'll show the swaps that are made from this sort of set to the Druid Discord BiS list, just because I said I'd show it at the end of the video here, so we'll go through that. One of the first things is they're wearing the 25-man Algolon ring, which doesn't have hit on it, and then they're getting most of their hit from the Faction Champs Heroic boots, and then the Anubarak Heroic bracers. And then once you do that, you're a little bit over the hit cap, and they drop the Ice Walker enchant for the agility. They also, of course, put on the 272 Cloak. And then as far as the gems go, they put Resilience in everything, and then a Nightmare tier in the red socket on the chest, so that then they can get the 6 Resilience socket bonus, and then you activate your meta because they're wearing the Relentless Earth Siege, of course. So that's the basic idea of what they're looking at. For me personally, I don't have these boots, so I'll be wearing the Relentless boots. I like Ice Walker as an enchant. I think it's really valuable for the extra hit. I wouldn't have these bracers, so I'd throw those off, and then I'm wearing the Drape of the Faceless General, which now means that I need to find hit elsewhere. I will honestly probably try to wear like Band of Lights, and then I might even just gem for hit. Right now I'm still wearing this neck piece, and then because I'm pretty close here, I'm at 144, which means I need 20 more hit. I could just throw in like a rigid King's Amber, and then I'm exactly at 5% hit. So don't be afraid to gem hit. Usually you want to just throw resilience gems in there to cover any sort of lack of resilience from our PvE gear. But if you need that little bit of hit, don't be afraid to throw in a hit gem. Don't be afraid to throw in an agi hit gem if that brings you closer to your hit cap. Just remember that whenever you're swapping out pieces, try to keep track of whether you're swapping out a piece with hit or you're gaining a piece with hit, and balance that around. That's sort of the most important thing when gearing here. And with that all said, I'll see you guys in the next one.